possible recruitment from Chelsea. We're hearing they have put in a bid of £40 million for Everton's Antony Gordon. Jamie?
It's a lot of money for a young player who's
21 years old.
Just coming onto the scene, but I don't see how Everton could accept that. The position they find themselves in right now, lacking attacking players, he's the one big hope for the club, because even the supporters aren't deaf to Everton. You know, they've lost the first 2 games. They know it's going to be a difficult season. They need an attacking player coming in, so there's no way they can let him go. And certainly with him being a local lad, he's the one they're all hanging the hats on as supporters, really. I mean, I think it'd have to be a lot higher than that if Everton were going to sanction that.
He's not really the kind of player that you were talking about, I don't think. How would you see him fitting in, potentially?
Well, I think there's obviously been rumours about Pulisic and Ziyech going, so I'd probably see a like-for-like replacement. If one goes out, he would come in, and he's young, English talented, and that's the recruitment they've gone for as well. Some young players, some experienced players. He's not the answer that we've all been speaking about, but I think if Pulisic or Ziyech went, I think he would be coming in for that.
I suppose what it does show, Graham, is that they are far from done here, Chelsea.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if that... well, would I be surprised? Don't be surprised at the surprises anymore in our game. I think £40 million for a 21-year-old who's played 51 games in our Premier League. And he's not, for me, he's not set the header on fire. Yeah, he looks... He's a dribbler, he's quick enough. For me, goes to ground a bit too easily, but that's a hell of a lot of money for someone who's only played 50 games. And it's not screaming at you when you see him play that he's going to be a top man.
Quick assessment then before we go over the ones they have signed so far. Chelsea, we're talking about Carragher. First start today. Koulibaly on his home debut with that goal, and Raheem Sterling as well.
I thought they were all brilliant. I thought Sterling was sharp. I think as soon as he starts to fit in, he'll be good. Koulibaly, we saw how good he is in possession. I actually think it's an upgrade of Rudiger, if I'm honest. And Carragher, I think he's a breath of fresh air. I think he's so good.
Jamie?
I thought Raheem did OK today, that he did well, but he's not a centre-forward. I think he'd be a lot better in one of those roles, just behind the striker and making that run, then penetrating runs that he's so good at. Don't really want him with his back to goal too often. He almost played up front with Javier today, a lot of movement in there, but I think he'd suit another striker coming into play alongside him.